Rock and roll. Welcome, everyone, to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. We've got a packed house here for this episode, and I'm excited to bring it. This is kind of an episode that we did earlier this year that Matt and I, with a little help from Chris, did this year. But we are going to see Mr. Sebastian Bach at, why did it just go out of my head? Casino NB in Moncton, end of October. So we thought, like the Geoff Tate show, we would do a fantasy set list episode and go through the songs that we would like to hear Mr. Bach perform. And we kind of kept it to a realistic set list length. You know, we'd make a 40-song set list. And he couldn't be here with us tonight, but he's here in spirit, Mr. Jex, who's right down there. So he should be there too. But Jex actually sent me a list. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go clockwise. I'm going to start. I'll read Jex's list, and we'll do Bug, Will, Matt, and myself, and that's how we'll go through the set list. And I'm curious, and I'm looking forward to see what everybody comes up with. But I guess before we get going, people that have been watching the show for a long time will recall that Matt and Will actually went to see Sebastian 6 years ago, same venue, and filmed some footage and made it into an episode. I couldn't make that one. So, yeah, looking forward to what he's doing this time. And of course, he's got a new album that he's supporting. I think it's a really good album. So, yeah, hopefully we'll hear some of those tracks and a good mix of Skid Row. So we'll get started with this is Jex's Sebastian Bach set list, probable set list, and he's even got some notes. So this is what Jex would like to hear. So the set opener will be the first song from Sebastian's latest album, Child Within the Man, Everybody Bleeds. Cool. The opener from his latest album, this one makes for a great concert opener, is guaranteed to pump up the crowd. And Jex is wasting no time because he says that they should go right into Monkey Business. I originally had this one down as a show opener, and it's just classic Skid Row with amazing Bach vocals, but I decided that opening the show with a cut from the latest album might be best, but Monkey Business can make for a great second track. It adds familiarity early on in the show while not overshadowing the material. Number 3, this will make some people happy, Beat Yourself Blind. I know I'm in the minority of fans who like Subhuman Race, but I've always liked Bach's scream-like vocals in this one and find it to fit perfectly after Monkey Business. After that, In a Darkened Room. Ooh. 4th track into the set, Good Time for a Ballad, but not the big one. Need to save that one for later in the set. Another new one. This was also a single, What Do I Got to Lose? To pick up the tempo after the ballad. No better pick than a single from the latest album. Next two are surprising at where he's got them in the set. Youth Gone Wild. I don't even know what to say. It's at track 6. 7, Slave to the Grind. 8, Frozen. Jex, you got to mellow out here. You got to get heavy. You're hitting all the mellow songs. I'm not surprised. Jex just wants him to beat everybody over the head. At number 9, another new song, Hold On to the Dream. At number 10, Eileen from Subhuman Race. Once again, my love for Subhuman Race is shining through. I hesitated on including this track because I know that realistically it might lose the modern day audience. But since this is one of my favorite tracks from Subhuman Race, and this is my list, it's going on. Okay. All right. Number 11, Making a Mess. Number 12, Living on a Chain Gang. Number 13, this is a song I love from Subhuman Race, Into Another. Good choice. Number 14, Mud Kicker. Number 15, 18 in Life. Number 16, another new track, Vendetta. Number 17, The Threat. And number 18, closing the main set with I Remember You. And he's got a 2-song encore of What You're Doing, Rush cover from Beside Ourselves. And Get the Boot Out. Always thought this would be a great way to close up a Skid Row Sebastian Bach show. So that is Jex's hopeful set list for Sebastian. We'll see how that goes. And we'll head over to Bug. What is your probable set list for Mr. Bach?
So mine opens up exactly the same as Jex. Everybody Bleeds from the new album. I think, just like he said, it would be a great concert opener. Just the way that it starts, kind of the vocals, the drums, it kind of kicks off and would get everybody rocking. I went back and forth with my number 2 and number 1 to see which would open. My number 2 is Big Guns. I really wanted to open with that, but I thought it's a new album, a new tour. Let's kick it off with something from the new album and then fire right into the first song off the first album. So Big Guns at number 2, The Threat, which I think Jeff said later on. I think kicking one off of Slave to the Grind right after one from the debut would keep the crowd into it. I then have Kicking and Screaming at number 4 from the Kicking and Screaming Sebastian Bach. There it is. Matt's holding it up there. Number 5 is one from the new album that Jex didn't have on there. It's probably my favorite one on the new album, Freedom. Really love the song Freedom on that new album. Going to get heavy on number 6, American Metalhead from Angel Down. Matt's got it right there. Going to slow it down for number 7 with In a Darkened Room. Jex also had that on his list. Sweet Little Sister from the debut, the 8th one in. Number 9 was one I saw Sebastian Bach at Fred Rock here in Fredericton in 2013, and he closed the set prior to the encore with this one, also from Kicking and Screaming, As Long as I Got the Music. Really love that song and would hope that he would throw that in there again. Number 10 from the new album, What Do I Got to Lose? Number 11, another, I hesitate to call it a ballad. I don't know if any of the 3 slower songs from Slave to the Grind are considered ballads, but Quicksand Jesus at number 11. Really love that song. Number 12, Here I Am from the debut. The 13th song in the fantasy set list, Love is a Bitch Slap. Be great if Axel came out and joined him on that one, but Piece of Me at 14. Another one from the debut at 15. We'll slow it down again. I Remember You. We're going to speed things up again with Monkey Business. And then right before the encore, the closer prior to the encore was Jex's closer altogether, but Get the Out. I think that would be a great one to get the crowd fired up before they left and came back on. So 3-song encore. I'd get it going with Slave to the Grind. Follow that up with 18 in Life, and then close it out with Jex's number 6 song, Youth Gone Wild. Come on, Jex.
I got to say, in both set lists that have been read so far, there's some commonalities. This is cool.
So I will say one thing. There was a lot of songs from Slave to the Grind that I had in there and just couldn't keep them. Living on a Chain Gang, Psycho Love, Mud Kicker. I love all those songs, and I'm sure the crowd would love it too. But if we're going 20 songs and we need a mix, I was tempted just to put 10 from the debut and 10 from Slave to the Grind, but I said I can't do that. So
yeah. Cool. All right, Will.
So when I think of a dream set list, I never think of necessarily my all-time favorite songs from that artist, because you could pick the 10 debut and the 10 from Slave the Grind and move on. So for a dream set list from any band, I'm looking for, if you're touring a new album, promote the new album. I hate when bands are release an album, go on tour, and don't play anything from it. I don't really think there's a point to that. Cover the catalog if you can. Play something from everything. Play something from most. If you are going to play it to the live audience, I don't love covers. If I'm going to see a band, I don't want to hear 5 songs that they didn't do. So some of that went into play with this, outside of what are my top 20. So starting off, I even went ahead, the last song they play really loud before the band comes out, I'm saying blast Back in the Saddle, but the Aerosmith version. I know we covered it on Angel Down, but get the crowd going, play that as loud as you can. And then we're going to 3 songs that I think all deserve to be an opener, but I'm leading it off with Here I Am. I think that's would be an excellent song, like back in Moncton, big city. I'm sure everyone will be excited to hear that. Go right in the Slave to the Grind. Get one off of that as well, and then move into Hell Inside My Head, which is off his 2014 release, Give 'Em Hell. I think that would be a great opener as well, but it's going to be way less known than something off the first 2 albums. And then move into something off the new album with What Do I Got to Lose? So you're 4 songs in, and you cover 4 albums. And then into something off of Kicking and Screaming, I'm going Dance on Your Grave.
Whoa.
I believe he did that when we saw them in Moncton last time, Matt. It is great live. Pretty sure he played it. If not, I watched it on the video. And then slowing it down a bit, scratching something off Subhuman Race with Into Another. I think that's a great song, and if I only had to pick one off of that, it's going to be that. Pick it back up, Sweet Little Sister. And then my one cover, which she did record, Finding My Way, the Rush cover. I guess he did it with Michael Sanker. Is that how you pronounce that?
I didn't know he covered that one.
Yeah, the Finding My Way EP he had that on it.
You mean Michael Shanker from like UFO and MSG and?
Yeah, I believe so.
Cool. I'll check that out.
So yeah, that's the main cover that he did there. And then go into Dominator off Give 'Em Hell. That's a great heavy song. Picking it back up. Straight from that, 3 in a row here from Slave to the Grind, Monkey Business, Creep Show, and then In a Darkened Room. Slow it right down after those 2 heavy hitters. And then picking it back up, American Metalhead off of his debut. And then into Freedom, which is as well my favorite song off of his new album. And then we're going into Disengaged, also off of Give 'Em Hell. That's super heavy, super fun. I think he would make it even heavier live. Into Big Guns, and finishing off the non-encore songs with Living on a Chain Gang. Then encore starts, Youth Gone Wild, get the crowd back in everything. Move in from that to Beggar's Day, and end it off with Rattlesnake Shake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I added the Play Out as the audience leaves song, and that'd be Rock and Roll is a Vicious Game.
Ah.
That would be my played over the system, everyone's leaving song. So that is my dream set list that I'm sure he'll play song for song.
I think we're all keeping this tethered in some sort of reality, which is really cool. Be interested to see how it actually plays out. But that's why we do these episodes. Okay, Matt, your Sebastian Bach set list.
I do have to say, mine's probably not really tethered in reality at all. Be really eclectic, but I'm really happy with a lot of the songs that are showing up in your set list. I have a bunch of these. They're in a bit of a different order, and I'm actually going to talk about a few songs that I don't even know if a few people have even heard before, but we'll get there. So my Sebastian Bach dream set list is 17 songs and then 3 encores. So playing over the PA before the concert started, I wanted to have the Forever demo playing. It's quite a high-pitched early Sebastian Bach, kind of really pop stuff. And, you're going to hear like the AC/DC songs and stuff before the show starts. But as soon as they hear like a Skid Row song, that might kind of pique people's interest. So right from there, if you've ever seen the Skid Row home video, they play a song, "They're coming to take me away, ha ha, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha, to the Honey Farm." That's a 1966 song by Napoleon 14. I don't really know the artist, but I'm guessing that's a pretty freaky song from 1966. So that's going to play, and then the lights darken. And just behind the curtain, we see Sebastian Bach by himself. We know there's a band there, but right now the spotlight's just on Baz, and he's going to go into a song. This is the moment from Jekyll and Hyde, and he's going to do it a cappella. So the show starts, just a spotlight on Baz doing "This is the moment." Anyway, I don't have his wonderful singing voice or vibrato, but he's going to play a few lines from that and really kind of, you're expecting Sebastian Bach to come out and like slam it with "Slave to the Grind" or something to kick off the show, but here's a cappella. And then he's going to go right in from that. The first actual song is going to be "Monkey Business." So what'll have the curtain will drop and that. Then we see the whole band and they kick into "Monkey Business." So that's my first song, not "Slave to the Grind," something different. The cool thing that you're going to notice, though, I didn't just work on my set list, but something I really want to see. I want to see Bach come out with 2 guitarists, and he's going to have a keyboard player, which is kind of funny. If you know his little history about there's no keyboard. Did he say that, or did Bruce Dickinson say that? There's no keyboards in rock and roll or in metal.
There's plenty of keyboards and some seventh son of a seventh son, but anyway.
I'm pretty sure Boz. It's about comment on one of their home videos. But okay, so I'm going to try and speed this up a little bit. But first 4 songs. So "Monkey Business," first song off of "Slave to the Grind." Then we're going into "Big Guns," the first song off the debut album. "Beggar's Day." Someone had "Beggar's Day" in their list. That's my 3rd song. And then I'm going to end this first part of the set list with a Kiss cover, "Come On and Love Me." Now at this point, Baz is going to talk quickly about, I've got a new album out and it's nice to play some new stuff for you. So we're going to hear "As Long as I've Got the Music" from 2011's Kicking and Screaming album. And I do want to hear him play something from his new album. Where did I put that one? Oh, right here. I lost it. Oh, there it is. So number 5 is "As Long as I've Got the Music," and number 6 is going to do "Hold On to the Dream" from this album, which I think is a really cool. Kind of starts out slow, but it's a really, really cool song. Now he's actually going to talk about how Skid Row has some really amazing ballads. Number 7, 8, 9, and 10, I'm going to do "In a Darkened Room," followed by "Wasted Time." I'm going to throw in some 18 in Life. And track 10 is going to be "Rock and Roll is a Vicious Game," which is a April Wine cover that he did on "Give 'Em Hell." Track 11 is going to be, he's going to talk to the crowd about doing some kick-ass songs. 11 is going to be "Mud Kicker," and then 12 is "Piece of Me." And here's where it gets a little different. So we know that Baz is quite a fan of Rush. I assume that he likes progressive music. He was actually on one of my favorite, probably my favorite progressive album of all time. If you've ever heard of this one from 2005, this is an album called "Frame Shift 2, An Absence of Empathy." Baz recorded this with Prague artist Henning Pauly back in 2005. So tracks 13 and 14, I want him to do songs 4 and 5 from this album. "Miseducation" and "I Killed You." He's going to need a keyboardist, and all the members of his band are going to need to help fill in with all the crazy vocal layers and stuff in those songs. If you get anything from my set list, please go and try and check out "Frame Shift 2, An Absence of Empathy." I've actually made a YouTube playlist, so you can go and maybe I'll get Tim to link to that if you want to check out those songs. Okay, now we're back into some more familiar stuff. Track 15 and 16, Baz is going to talk about that Skid Row album that doesn't really get enough love. I was thrilled that a lot of people have songs on this. I couldn't believe Jax added Eileen to his set list, so it's pretty cool. But 15 and 16 are going to be the debut. The first song from Subhuman Race is going to be My Enemy. And then he's going to follow that up with the bass opening ballad Into Another. Always really like that tune as well. We're almost done. He's going to finish off the main set list, talking about the anniversary of the debut Skid Row album, and it's the 35th anniversary, and he's going to kick into Youth Gone Wild, and that's how he's going to leave the first, leave the set list proper. And then I've got 3 encores. Baz is going to come out. He's going to start talking about Aerosmith. I'm going to kick off with the Back in the Saddle Aerosmith cover, which was from Angel Down. And then he's going to follow that up with Living on a Chain Gang. I've seen Baz a couple of times. I've seen Skid Row a couple of times, sadly not together. I don't know if did he do Living on a Chain Gang when we saw him in Moncton? I don't remember.
So I would say no, but if that's incorrect, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's one of those slightly deeper cuts on Flame to the Grind I'd really love to hear. Just recently, his former band has been, I assume that they're doing auditions for a new singer, but they had vocalist Lizzie Hale on, and she did a killer version of Living on a Chain Gang, which is kind of a screamy song anyway, really fit her voice perfectly. I didn't love her as, the new vocalist for that previous band, but I'd love to hear Living on a Chain Gang live. And he's going to finish it up with Slave to the Grind. And then as everybody pours out, I want to hear Midnight/Tornado playing on the PA as everyone kind of disperses. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. Matt introduced me to that Frameshift album, and it's really good. Unfortunately, my understanding, from Matt, is that the two of them had a falling out. Yeah, but the recorded album is really good. I've also got, I don't even know if I've listened to it. I've got the first Frameshift too, which James Labrie from Dream Theater sings on. But yeah, to hear Sebastian Bach sing Prague is pretty cool. I think Sebastian is just a music fan. I mean, I like the videos where he's like around his house and he'll sing requests. I mean, he sang Steve Perry's "Oh Sherry" and he sang, "Sweet Cheater" by Rat. Like, it's cool. So that kind of leads into my set list. All been really, really good. I'm really surprised with some of the deeper cuts that at least 2 or 3 of us have had. And I was trying to think of the intro music, and then I got thinking about watching the Triumph documentary, because Sebastian's on that, and he puts a record on and he starts singing to the opening track on the first Triumph album, 24 Hours a Day. So I think that would be a cool song to put on, play the Triumph version before he goes on stage, because it just ends up everybody party 24 hours a day. It doesn't even matter if you know the song. I'm into that. So then he comes on, and I think a lot of us have done this. Everybody Bleeds, the first song on Child Within the Man, a great comeback album. He should really pump this one. I hope he's got merch this time. Seems to me he didn't have merch last time for some reason. I think you guys were saying there was no merch table, because I had said, hey, if there's merch table, I'd take this or this, but I don't know, weird. But yeah, so Everybody Bleeds. I mean, that's a heavy song. Even if people hadn't heard it, hopefully they say, what's this? And hopefully he says where it's from. And then right away, you got to get the crowd on your side. So you go into Rattlesnake Shake from the debut, and right back to the new album with Hold On to the Dream. And then a song that's already been mentioned, The Threat from Slave to the Grind. And then some familiar territory, Piece of Me from the debut. Then, glad to see this album represented. I actually like this one a lot. Title song from Kicking and Screaming. And then a song that Matt mentioned in passing. He's going to talk about the Maritimes, and he's also going to mention the fact that Miles Goodwin from April Wines from the Maritimes, and he passed away last year, and he's going to do Rock and Roll is a Vicious Game, which is originally from April Wine's First Glance album. So then he and somebody from his band, and I agree with Matt. I hopefully he's got two guitar players. You're playing those songs, you should really have two guitar players. But anyway, he's going to have somebody come up and they're going to flip a coin over what song, the next song from this album, they're going to do.
Oh,
obviously they know both, or it's just a bit that they've worked out. So they flip a coin, and depending on whether it's heads or tails, they either do FU or Vendetta, one or the other.
Hold on. That's just an extra way to get another song in there, Tim. You're skirting your own rules here.
Okay, so he does FU.
Related to you cutting in, of course.
Yeah. So then he does I Remember You. And there's an acoustic guitar solo. And the acoustic guitar solo leads into the next song, which leads into this Rock Bottom, which Sebastian sings on this Ace Frehley tribute album. So yeah, it goes into Rock Bottom. Then back to the debut for Here I Am, which I agree would be an excellent opener too, because there he is. And a song I think all of us have mentioned, Mud Kicker.
Yeah.
From Slave to the Grind. And then the quote unquote single from his latest album, What Do I Got to Lose, which is the last of the 4 songs from this album. And then the song that Matt wanted for an exit song, I'm suggesting they go into Midnight Tornado. And when it goes into the Tornado section, extended guitar solo, give his throat a break, comes back out, 18 in Life. Then he must like that first Rush album, but so not What You're Doing, not Finding My Way, but Working Man, also from the first Rush album, but he performs on this Rush tribute album from '96. And then the set proper ends with Monkey Business. So then he comes back out with the title song from Slave to the Grind. I'm just really happy to hear this song mentioned because I think it's a great song, Forever, which eventually appeared on this best of, but it was recorded for the first album. And then he ends off with Youth Gone Wild. And his exit music is Happy Trails from Van Halen, Diver Down. That's my Sebastian set list.
Right on.
Really good choices, guys. I mean, we all covered the new album, which I think is important. I think that it's really because if he, sold 1 or 2 CDs or records at every one of his shows, that's going to be a boost to his sales. But if people just go there and all he plays is stuff from the first 2 albums, they're going to have a good time, but it's not going to do anything for him long term. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to bear any fruit. So I would really like him to see him do at least 3 songs from the new album, because it's really strong. I don't have all the Sebastian solo albums. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I really think he's using his singing voice really well on this album. It's not just the screamy stuff. Anyway, that's our lists of what we, obviously we put these together. We'd like to hear some of these songs. Might be a mixture. I'm sure some of them we won't hear. I wasn't even thinking about the Jekyll and Hyde, but that is a really cool idea, Matt, and a really different something you would not expect, which I think is important because, I mean, you see a lot of shows and, we all love, the lights go down and like there's certain things that every show has that always work, but it's really cool when they throw you for a loop. And the fact, yes, he was on Broadway and he did it very well. So yeah, why not? So there you go. Any last thoughts? Any of you guys? Anything to add?
I did have, instead of Finding Your Way, I had like a Rush melody thing in there, but then I was jumping over the song rule with like Working Man, and I see he does like Tom Sawyer snippets once in a while. So, but I cut it down.
Yeah.
But that was something I did think about.
I
Well,
had
technically, his version of Working Man in the middle of it morphs into Bytor and the Snow Dog, which James Labrie takes over the rest of the vocals. But he also does the song Jacob's Ladder on that tribute CD. But like Matt said, you'd need a keyboard player for that. If you're going to do a Rush song with just guitars, you got to do something off pretty much the first 4 albums.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't throw 3 cover songs into my 20-song set list, but I had an April Wine cover, Kiss cover, and an Aerosmith cover, so sort of slightly timely for Aerosmith, calling it quits.
Yeah, and the fact is, he's recorded all of those.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it's a big difference when it's like I recorded this and it was on an album properly, and like this song, because like that's like Van Halen not doing "You Really Got Me," like that's not their song.
Yeah, well, it's like
like
and like Aerosmith doing "Come Together." I mean, not only did they record it, but it was a hit for them. So it kind of solidifies it. It's not like it was, oh, we used to jam on this, but if you've committed a recording to it, I think that would be really cool.
Like, scabbed some Kiss song that I love and be like, oh, this would be awesome, but like I'd go see Kiss to go do that. At least anyway.
It would be really cool if he did Rock and Roll Hell or War Machine, now that Bryan Adams has recorded those. But hey, listen, it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. I've never seen him before, so looking forward to it. And Casino NB is a great venue. I've seen many a show there, so looking forward to it. Let us know in the comments. I know we got some people watching here from the Maritimes, from our area. I know a couple of friends that are going that aren't here, so let us know in the comments and look for us. We'd love to meet people that watch the show. But guys, thanks for doing this. And let us know also what you think in the comments, what your set list might be. Do you agree? Do you disagree with our choices? There's no wrong answers. And we'll see you again on Tim's Vinyl Confessions, and check out the new Sebastian Bach album, Child Within the Man. It's really good. See y'all later.